I'm Alan Robarge, a relationship coach. Welcome to Improve Your Relationships, where I like to talk about attachment injuries and healing attachment trauma. And this video is about abandoning yourself in relationship. And to say that the history, the pattern, if you look at how you repeatedly have shown up in relationship, potentially your whole life, potentially your entire adult life, one way that you're approaching relationship is to abandon yourself. So if we step back and say, why do your relationships stink? Why are your relationships full of struggle? Why do your relationships fail? And yes, it takes two people to disco. It takes two people to tango, meaning, of course, your partner's co-creating and participating, and perhaps has a certain set of skills that are not terribly skillful and can contribute to some of the struggle and the challenge. But because you're co-creating a relationship that does not work, one piece that many of us struggle with when it has to do with attachment injuries and attachment trauma is that you do not know how to stay present and to have boundaries around a sense of self and to maintain a certain amount of ego strength to protect your voice and to protect your likes and dislikes, to protect being able to stand up for yourself. Many of us, due to our history of families of dysfunction, were trained and learned how to be a fake person and to dumb down our truth, to obscure our truth, or to be a chameleon, which means to blend in and adapt and to change based upon what is required, and that the people you're in relationship with will like you if you pretend to be who they want you to be. That's how you abandon yourself. So yes, it's painful. Yes, you did not originally sign up for this. This is how you have evolved into a relationship. This is also something that is very much culturally endorsed. And many people believe, well, you know, the way to get a relationship, to get a long-term relationship, to get a partner, and to get a husband or a wife is to play this game where you pretend to be the more attractive version of yourself based upon bringing out certain qualities, certain behaviors that you know your partner values and likes. And when you figure out that there are certain parts of yourself, certain characteristics, certain behaviors, aspects of your personality that your partner would dislike, well, you're going to very quickly disown those parts, disown yourself, or relegate those behaviors and that part of you to shadow. And it's going to be in hiding. It's going to be exiled to the shadow. When we do this, if that's our way of being in relationship, you want someone to like you based upon how you package your presentation of being liked. And if you are very sophisticated at doing this, you're willing to get rid of parts of yourself that deny your own truth. And when you do this, that's self-betrayal. When you do this, this is self-abandonment. And so the question is, why do your relationships stink? Why do your relationships fail? Why do your relationships suck? Why do you have struggle, tension, and drama in your relationship that never resolves itself? And why do these relationships repeatedly end? Now, of course, I don't have the big picture full answer. There's many, many other criteria and reasons that could go into this. But for the purpose of this video, it's to take a pause, step back, and look at, for many of us, we fuel and invite dysfunction because we're not present in the relationship ourselves. Who we are is not really who we are. We lead with a pretend manufactured presentation of who we think we're supposed to be and who we think that the partner wants us to be. And we do this in hopes of being rewarded with love and emotion and connection. And if you really think about it, that is a sad dynamic, because it's leading from the place is that we don't deserve to be loved for just who we are, which is probably the messaging that you received in your family. You can't really be loved for who you are. You need to morph and change and manufacture and put up this pretend self, this fake self, this false self. And if you do this enough, you'll become so overly identified with this pretend self that it will confuse you to the point where you don't even know what it means not to show up such a fake self with other people. And when you do this, you're abandoning a connection to your truer sense of self. And it's this reoccurring self-abandonment which is contributing considerably, contributing greatly to why your relationships are not working out. So one way to work with this is to be able to sit down in quiet, in a meditative way, and either literally look in a mirror or metaphorically think about looking in the mirror. And it begins by saying, who am I? And am I able to find a safe person, safe friends, people who I can trust, and experiment with being more vulnerable and revealing who you are in a way that you have a strong enough ego strength that you don't have to shut down when you get feedback that someone else dislikes how you're presenting or how you're showing up or how you're behaving, or even disliking your opinion. Some of us are so sensitively trained that at the slightest pushback of someone does not like something about you, someone does not like your decision, someone does not like your thinking, just you're thinking about some kind of idea, and you find out that they are passing judgment or they're questioning, and very quickly you change your mind and you change your idea, and you in that moment, even in your thinking, you're abandoning yourself. So this video is about taking a step back, looking at your history of self-abandonment and your history of how you have defined relationship. You enter relationship and you define relationship based upon this need to morph who you are to be a presentation of who you think you're supposed to be. That is not a reliable definition or approach for relating. We must challenge ourselves to be vulnerable, exposed, honest, transparent, and to be able to have a stronger point of view, a stronger sense of self, to assert our voice, assert our preferences, and to show up and say, this is what I stand for, this is who I am, and I run the risk of not being in a relationship. I run the risk of losing a partner when I'm in my fullness. And we have to be able to strengthen, have maturity, strengthen our ability to be okay with that. Because otherwise, then we're chasing people around, trying to be in relationship with an idea of a manufactured self, which, if you think about it, that means you're really not here. You're not in relationship. So not only are you abandoning yourself and you're not in relationship with your partner, with yourself, but in the actual relating with your partner's not getting an experience of being in relationship with you either. And then 3 months later, 3 years later, it could be 22 years later, you keep questioning, well, why didn't it work out? Well, because you weren't even there. You're not even in relationship. You're pretending at being in relationship. You're pretending to be a self so that you can pretend to be in relationship. I know this all sounds like a mind game, and the truth is that's what we do. We're playing this incredible, crazy mind game all in the name of trying to stay guarded and defended against being hurt around rejection and emotional openness and sharing intimacy. And we are so afraid of the risk it takes to open to emotional connection and to be emotionally available to our partner. We much rather default to this distraction of this pretend self and pretending at being in relationship. And this is why the relationship, one reason why, of course not for everybody, but one reason why it then is repeatedly empty. The relationship, the experience will just repeatedly fall short and repeatedly lack a robust nourishment. It will be lacking nourishment because you abandon yourself. This video is empathy to you. Wake up that you're doing this and realize that if you don't practice having a stronger presence, a stronger sense of self, you will just stay on this hamster wheel and continue to recreate the same unfulfilling relationships. And that's not about your partner failing you. That's not about your partner lacking certain skills to be able to meet your needs. It's about the fact that you keep betraying yourself with this self-abandonment. I hope that this video is helpful. It's challenging, hard information to hear. So that's why near the end here I said empathy to you. This is painful stuff. So empathy to you. Good luck looking in the mirror and really doing some research around what is self-abandonment and how do you keep perpetuating this cycle. And you learned it in your family and you just keep repeating it. Let's do something different. We cannot continue to create and recreate the same dynamic. It is too painful. I hope that this video was helpful. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you want to learn more about me and also the community membership website that I'm creating, you can go to my website, alanrobarge.com, for more information. Thank you for watching.